Welcome back. So let's get information about the types of hypervisors. Right now, in front of you, we have an enterprise data center. And when we implement virtualization technology on it, it will look like this. Here you can see that the number of servers reduced. So in the previous session, we discussed that the basic purpose of the virtualization technology is to bring independence of our virtual machines, that our operating system will be completely independent from underlying hardware. Now it's time to get the second benefit, that when you implement the virtualization technology, the number of physical servers will be reduced, as you can see in front of you. So due to the reduction of physical servers, the maintenance and the administration process will be get easier for IT staff or for IT team. So it's the second benefit of this technology. Now let's move and understand the types of hypervisor. So generally we have two types of hypervisors. We have two types of hypervisor. The one is called type 1, while the second one is called type 2 hypervisor. So we get the basic idea, or get the basic difference between both of these two hypervisors. Let's move further. Here you can see that when we talk about the type 1 hypervisor, type 1 hypervisor is completely independent from the operating system. You can install the type 1 hypervisor directly on your hardware. In the same image, you can see that we have the physical machine. Here you can see that we have the physical machine, and on that physical machine we installed the hypervisor of the VMware, which is called ESXI. And this type 1 hypervisor not dependent or not require any type of other operating system to make this hypervisor operational. So when we talk about the type 1 hypervisor uses in the enterprise network, or you can say that in a production network independently, and this hypervisor have the capability to create virtual machines from its physical or underlying hardware, like compute or like memory or storage or networking, each and every component which is related to the physical infrastructure. While when we talk about the type 2 hypervisor, type 2 hypervisor is not recommended for enterprise networks or production environments. Type 2 hypervisor is dedicated for the purpose of testing, or for the purpose of university projects, or for the purpose of creating demos in your own server machine or in your own laptop. The other important thing about the type 2 hypervisor is that type 2 hypervisor cannot directly installed on the hardware. If you want to install the type 2 hypervisor, you need any type of operating system. It might be a Windows 10, or it might be Windows 8, or it might be a server 2012 operating system, or in any Linux operating system. So type 2 hypervisor is still dependent on the operating system. So if you don't have any other operating system, you cannot install type 2 hypervisor. Like if you don't have any operating system, you cannot install the Office applications or graphics application or any other SQL application. So in the same manner, when you are implementing the type 2 hypervisor, type 2 hypervisor requires the operating system. So the major difference between type 1 and type 2 is that type 1 is directly installed on the hardware, while type 2 is require operating system. Without operating system, you cannot install the type 2 hypervisor. Second important thing which you need to understand about the type 1 and type 2 is that type 2 is completely recommended for enterprise networks, for production networks, because it's completely designed for enterprise data centers. While type 2, about when we talk about the type 2, it's totally dedicated for the testing purpose. So I hope that you get the basic idea about the type 1 and type 2 hypervisor. Let's get into the demo of these two hypervisors, because now we have that much theory about the virtualization technology, and we have that much concepts related to the virtualization technology. So now we have to move for the demo, and let's see how type 1 is making operational this industry and how type 2 is working in the testing environment. So let's get into the demo and understand the basic idea of the